Hi, it's the Urban Lady Prepper, and this week's episode is The Rise of AI and the Threat of the Fembots. Imagine a world where a tireless, efficient digital assistant handles your administrative tasks. No more late night email checks, no more tedious data entry. Welcome to the age of AI driven administration. That sounds great if you're the boss. In my first episode of last season, season 2, new resolve for survival, I mentioned talking to a gentleman who was into AI and explained how it already was performing certain tasks that would become very useful, and at some point, it'll begin to replace people. That was about 3 years ago. Now, AI truly is becoming a threat to our jobs. We may have worked to be in a position where we're above manual labor, but artificial intelligence is coming along to tell us that they will eventually replace us. They will be cheaper and will not make the same mistakes we make daily. As I stated in that episode, that will impact women more than any other demographic because most of our work is administrative. If you don't think that an AI model will soon replace us with a natural sounding voice who won't forget to book that meeting, book that flight, or order that lunch, and won't make a mistake in the math, you need a serious reality check. If you were to be replaced by an AI secretary tomorrow, would you have enough in your pantry to ride it out until you find another job? The Turing test has served as a benchmark for measuring machine intelligence and sparking debates about the nature of consciousness and intelligence. The Turing test is a human interrogator receiving responses from both a human and a machine. The machine passes the test once it convinces the human interrogator that it's human by providing responses requiring intelligence, understanding, and creativity. This test, a thought experiment proposed by Alan Turing in 1950, has greatly influenced the field of artificial intelligence. Needless to say, we've come a long way since 1950. Artificial intelligence is progressing faster than our ability to control or regulate it. We found movies featuring AI showing how it becomes sentient and hyper-realistic entertaining. We may have thought that machines taking over was impossible, but we must ask ourselves how far away we are from that reality. It doesn't seem that far away now, does it? The same companies that warn us of the dangers of artificial intelligence compete with each other to provide the most advancements in it. They admit AI is the new Wild West and fear its ultimate power, yet they're still saddling up for the ride and racing to max out its capabilities. However, those capabilities require a lot of power. How much power? Well, training a large language model like ChatGPT requires about 1,300 megawatt hours of electricity, which is equal to the annual consumption of roughly 130 homes in the US. Worse, the power demands of AI, cryptocurrency, and data centers is expected to double within the next 2 years. The additional strain on our grid will not be pretty, and local governments will have to choose between taking money from corporations who need the energy and keeping the lights on for their constituents. We humans are once again putting ourselves in a position where we're willing to sacrifice something we need and put our better judgment aside for convenience. But maybe we won't be too late to find a better way to make this work with this emerging and growing technology. In the meantime, artificial intelligence is gobbling up data like Pac Man on crack, and companies are trying to sell the technology before it's truly ready. For example, AI is now scraping non copyrighted public domain material from the Library of Congress. The Library of Congress is the world's largest library, and AI companies so far have been unable to get the LOC as a client for AI training. The AI just isn't good enough yet, but it won't take long. However, it is excelling at other tasks closer to Main Street. You only have to scroll through your social media feed to see ads about how folks can use AI to do minor tasks, scheduling, provide ideas, create blogs, and generate videos. These things are very useful, especially for creators. I'm not going to lie and say that I haven't used some of these things to make my workload more bearable. Now, I'm not one of those creators who blindly use it to generate content because authenticity is important to me. What you read and hear is mine. But using AI to help outline my blogs and social media content, schedule and post them, and let it provide resources that would take me hours to gather has been fantastic. It's also helped me create a business plan and other documentation, saving me time as a solo business owner with a full time job. The problem is my full time job is as an administrative assistant, and I'm well aware that AI will soon advance to the point where it can do my job. And I can't pretend that isn't scary. I'm not alone in my fear that my job is at risk as artificial intelligence improves. Right now, we endure substandard chatbots, articles that are clearly auto generated by AI, and voices that, even when cloned, still have telltale signs of artificiality. However, as technology improves, and it does continually, these shortcomings will be overcome. Initially, AI was limited to automating data entry and then improved to analyze handwritten items, enabling it to read forms and checks. This made the processes more efficient, but it also made those jobs obsolete, leaving those who had those jobs without one. But there was still the opportunity to do something else, so the plus was that it may have spurred people into a different career that may have been more rewarding, challenging, and better paying. There were still opportunities elsewhere. But AI continued to push upwards, becoming more sophisticated and capable. What we're now seeing is a narrow artificial intelligence, which performs basic tasks based on a set of functions, such as scheduling, facial recognition, and being able to read medical information and come up with a diagnosis. But the true game changer would be when general artificial intelligence will be able to understand, learn, and apply knowledge across various tasks similar to human intelligence. It would be capable of reasoning, problem solving, and learning from experience, just like a human. While it currently doesn't exist in its full form, it does remain a goal for many researchers. I have no doubt that they'll reach it sooner rather than later. As of now, there's just enough AI around to be dangerous. While there are clear benefits, some folks use it for things like deep fakes and scams, making it harder to trust what we see and hear, and this will only get worse. Showing yet again why we can never have nice things. Also, AI now generates art, music, full stories, and more. While this has its conveniences, for creatives, we can't help but feel a little more of our soul and relevance has been chipped away. As I mentioned in that prior podcast, I'm not bringing this up as a scare tactic, but as part of preparedness. My tagline is practical preparedness for single moms and solo females so that they would be ready for any emergency. AI is reaching an emergency level because so many of our jobs will be on the line very soon. It won't be long before employers realize that it's a lot cheaper to have an AI secretary than a real one. AI is chasing us as we try to stay ahead of obsolescence, and eventually we will be caught. We just don't want to be caught out there. So, what are our options? The answer is to move into a career with less chance of being overtaken by AI, or at least a while before it can. We need to position ourselves to be ready for that. Regardless of how you feel about artificial intelligence, the bottom line is it's only a matter of time before you can't ignore or avoid its impact. As the saying goes, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. Even as AI progresses, it has its limitations, and there may be opportunities for us as part of that development. There will always be data and privacy concerns, and since humans are trained in the AI programs, the technology may also learn biases. People will be needed, at least into the near future, to improve or correct these shortcomings. The people who know how to build, run, and maintain computers, know robotics, and can do AI programming will make a lot of money and will always be in demand. If you're thinking about getting involved in something in the computer industry, now's the time to do it. Don't think that you can't or that you're not smart enough. You probably are smart enough. Even if you don't have a degree, this is the chance to take advantage of programs that will train you in some of these jobs without one. Ironically enough, many companies were not prepared for so many crucial tech jobs to stay open and have to compete with other companies for the same pool of talent. Plus, they now have to integrate AI into their corporate plan. These positions need to be filled, so what better position to be in than to take the jobs where they would need us, whether they want us there or not? For centuries, women have been discouraged from learning mechanics, science, or computers. We still manage to make our mark, and there's no reason why we can't do it again on this new frontier. But we need to do this sooner rather than later, before other folks realize they have to. If you think finding a job as an administrative is uber competitive now, it'll be just as hard in the near future when everyone realizes they need to get into that computer job you're thinking about now. It's time to look into these different programs or perhaps another career that doesn't involve a computer at all. The point is to find something that won't become obsolete and put you in a tougher financial position. And the goal is to make yourself as irreplaceable as possible in whatever it is you decide to do. There are some aspects of artificial intelligence that are entertaining and serve a specific purpose we may not be so mad at. We ladies are familiar with the incels who call themselves nice guys and constantly complain about how we're no longer available or willing to put up with their subpar to averageness. Some have whined that they can't wait for the fembots. The fembots will make us yearn for the men we choose not to be with now. Those female robots that are physically perfect and also perfectly submissive. They will do whatever these men say whenever they want. The fembot will endure their stink, filth, and laziness without complaint. That will do all the chores while he plays video games or watches sports. The fembots won't make demands such as, please wash your butt, or can you please watch the kids tonight, or you do the laundry for a change, or tell him to make his own damn sandwich. The incel nice guy will use the fembot wish as an alternative to telling us if we don't lower the bar, we'll end up alone with our cats. As one lady wrote on Twitter, does the fembot cook and clean the kitchen? Because if she does, I want one too. That was not the response these dudes were looking for. But on a more serious note, if we don't level up our jobs and get ourselves out of debt and more financially secure, we may soon find ourselves in a position our grandmothers and some of our mothers were in, having to take a man we really don't like or want because we don't have a choice. We would need them to survive. I don't know about you, but my ancestors worked way too hard and endured the unthinkable so that I could have choices. I don't want all of their suffering to be for nothing. These men are cheering on archaic patriarchy goals because those draconian rules give them power over women. If they get their way, women will have to choose them again. So we need to fight this, not just for us, but for our daughters. I would rather sleep with the AI enemy than to end up in bed with a man I'm too disempowered to leave. Besides, we want to be able to afford that man bot that will cook, clean, and rub our feet after a long day. Among other things I'm sure they can be programmed to do. Thanks for listening. Until next time, this is the Urban Lady Prepper signing off. I hope that I've given you some things to think about as you go through the upcoming week. I upload a new podcast every Saturday evening, U.S. Eastern Standard Time. Visit my website, urbanladyprepper.com, where I post a new blog every Wednesday and Friday. While there, sign up for my weekly newsletter, which contains information that usually isn't on the podcast or website, and share your support with a donation or buy some Urban Lady Prepper gear. It helps me continue to grow and provide even more content. Join me on the socials. I look forward to hearing from you. Ladies, stay safe, stay sharp, and be ready. You can't live